कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं। यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतोऽद्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे। Okay. Now, as it was explained earlier, that how a sentence is able to give its own separate meaning, a new meaning, more than or different than what the words of the sentence can give. And in which we understand a simple sentence like Ramaha Vanam Gacchati. Rama goes to forest. So there is an action, the verb, the subject and the object over here. So the subject's contact with the object, then which is also shown by the verb, becomes the meaning of the sentence. Okay. So samsargaha is there. And vishishta, meaning that the pratipadika. So every word then is qualified as subject, object, location, or ablative, and so on and so forth. And then with that element of becoming qualified, the sentence delivers the meaning. But in this process too, we find that whatever is the meaning, yet it is consisting of parts. Rama is one part, the forest is another part. And the action with which Rama is qualified, which falls on the object. Okay. Now, this is all constituting the meaning of the sentence, then is constituted of various parts. It is an assembly. How, therefore, can a vakyam deliver the meaning which is akhanda. How can it show that which is partless? And we now, if you have appreciated the objection, a very important part which the teacher has just indicated over here, and he says, Satyam evam satyam. So there is ardhangikaraha. There is an acceptance of what you say. So if you say, no, this does not happen, but sir, it is happening in a sentence, and it is a sentence, and it is a faultless sentence. Ramaha vanam gacchati, Rama goes to the forest. As simple as that. Nilo ghataha, the blue part. Over here also, we find that nothing or whatever is now shown by the sentence is an assembly of various things, constituting of parts. Then how, sir, will your vakyam, because all the vakyas are like this, then how would your vakyam, your claim that your Tattvamasi vakyam shows that what is akhandam, shows that what is akhandam, partless? You know, when we move a little further in this text, we are also going to find that not only that Tattvamasi is able to show something that is akhandam, but also sentences like Soyam Devadattaha or Prakrishta Prakashash Chandraha are also capable of doing this. And therefore now we need even to understand what exactly is meant by akhandam. Okay, that we will come to it. But presently, let us go by the text. So he says, Satyam, evam satyam, what you say is right, sir. Samsargatvam va vishishthatvam va na vakya pratipadyatve tantram abhimatam. But whether it is samsargatva or vishishtatva, these are not the only ways in which the sentence delivers what it has to deliver. Vakya pratipadyatve tantram na, and na abhimatam. This is not what is meant. And if you say that no, sir, it is only samsarga, etc., which can deliver the vakyartha, then there is going to be a problem. Vakyarthatva apattehe. There is going to be an apatti. Kim tarhi? Then what is it according to you that becomes the tantram over here? The way in which, the method in which the sentence functions. What is that? What is that method? If not samsarga, or if not vishishtatvam or samsargatvam is not the method, then what is that method? Kim tarhi? And here is the revelation. Tatparya vishayatvam. It is simply the subject matter of tatparyam, what is meant by the speaker. Tatparya vishayatvam. Tatparyam means tatparyam means vakturichha tatparyam. That what is desired by the speaker. Vakta. Vakturichha tatparyam. Over here, who is the Vakta? We are going to say Shruti is the Vakta. We are going to say Shruti is the Vakta. But Shruti is just the words. How can Shruti, the Vedas, speak to you? Figuratively, you can say, Gita says so, the Upanishad says so. And Upanishad is not a person who can talk. Gita is not a person. Gita, we are not talking about your neighbor Gita or niece Gita. She can talk and she never stops talking. But over here, we are talking about the book, Bhagavad Gita, or the book Upanishad. They are just words. And so here we are going to say Tatparya Vishayatvam. There is a Tatparya. There is what is meant by the words. The words inherently carry its meaning. Just as you can employ certain words to mean something, the words by themselves also have their own meaning. And so therefore, there is Tatparya. And what is the subject matter of Tatparya is what determines the meaning, the object of the sentence. So now we understand that Samsargatvam or Vishishtatvam are not the only methods in which this sentence functions to deliver its meaning. Now there is this revelation, Tatparya Vishayatvam. There is yet another thing, and that is actually Tatparya Vishayatvam, that what is meant by the speaker to be delivered. Yeah, delivery means, please just don't think about Amazon delivering boxes at your doorstep, okay? Delivered means something that is conveyed. Tatparyancha. Now, what is this Tatparyam? Akhande Brahmani Upakramadibhihi Lingaihi Vedantanam Avadhritam Iti Akhandam Brahma Vakyartha. What is the Vakyartha? Brahma. What is it that you want to show? We want to show Brahman, Paramatma. And how is this Paramatma? Is Paramatma finite? So we say no, infinite. And is your infinity consisting of parts? We are saying no, sir, it is one, partless. Okay? Akhandam Brahma Vakyartha. Then how do you know that this Akhanda Brahma, that Brahma, okay, right, Brahman is what your Vakya wants to show. Paramatma is what your Vakyam wants to show. But sir, how have you come to the conclusion that this Paramatma is Akhandam? Maybe there is some Paramatma, like you have various other theologies also, which are going to talk. God is sitting up in the heaven, God is sitting here, this is God, that is God. And therefore, you are able to say God means that what is not the bed. God means that what is not the tree. God means that what is not the space. Oh, when you are going to thus show God as being something separate, other than the world, then naturally the world is also limited. So also your God is limited. And therefore is not Anantam and not even Akhandam. Okay? Tatparyancha. So now Akhande Brahmani. So that Brahman is one and Akhanda. How has the Upanishad helped you to see this? That this is how Brahman is, and this Brahman is what is meant by the Vakyam. How have you come to this conclusion that this is how Brahman is, this is the nature of Paramatma? So here we say, Upakramadibhihi lingaihi Vedantanam avadhritam. How was it held? Avadhritam. How was it understood? Upakramadibhihi lingaihi. There are certain indications. Okay. These indications help you to cognize, understand what is meant by the speaker. The speaker may say several things, but actually, finally, what does he want to say? You know, if you want something from someone, you begin by telling a story and you create some sort of a background, and then you tell slowly, I think even I can do this. You want to tell that, I want to do certain work. And then you begin by saying there was a poor man, and then he was so ignorant, and is from some village, etc. But he was able to achieve a big feat. Okay, now you have created that even simple person who is not trained, also with his intelligence, is able to get or do things which even the trained people can't do. That is what you want to say. And therefore, now that though I may appear unqualified for this work, yet I think I can do it. This is, but then, I will like to also do this. I think I can do it. Now, finally, you have spoken so many things. What is the tatparyam? That I want to do this. Now, you have understood that this is what is the desire of that person. Otherwise, a story is told, a moral is that, well, there are some people who have certain intelligence which even a trained engineer also may not have. And therefore, I'll tell you a story, a little, I had heard it in my childhood. There's some vessels were floating and carrying horses across the sea, in the sea, from one country to another country where they have these animals being delivered. So these horses, very valued, prized horses, were being carried. And somewhere, now the ship, this vessel, had a problem. The engineers, etc., were summoned, and nobody was able to understand what is the problem. Why is this? What is this electric? There is some problem, and nothing in this ship seems to be moving. And everybody was tired, and they could not figure out what is happening. All these engineers putting their brains together. Then one simple worker who had been working on the ship for a long time, he said, I can fix it. Who was handling that, electric thing. And he just plugged a hair from the horse's tail and joined 2 points, and the whole thing started working. So there was a problem in the circuit which required a small connection, and it could be fixed with something as thin as the hair of the horse, and it worked. All the engineers could not put though they had put all their heads together, yet they were not able to figure out. But there was this simple man who was just a junior thing, and who was supposed to only take orders from these big guys, and he was able to. Now, similarly, I think I can do. So now, when you have heard the story, by all these things, finally the tatparyam that you understand is that this gentleman is asking me to give him the job. You see, he is asking to. So how have you understood what is finally meant by the speaker? Through all this background that is created, you understand the tatparyam, vakturicha. What is it that he finally wants to speak, conclusively wants to prove, say? And you now say, all that he wants to tell us is this. So also the Upanishads are, talking about the upasana and various other things. Finally, what is meant by what is it that the Upanishad wants to show? Akhanda Brahma. What is it that the Upanishad wants to show? All the Upanishads together. Akhanda Brahma. Brahman, which is infinite and also partless, one. That Brahma. How have you understood? This is what is meant by the Upanishad and not the other thing. So we are going to say there are these indications. What are those indications? There are these 6 indications. And they are called as Shadavidha Lingas. The 6 types of indications. Shadavidha, Shad means 6. Vidha means prakara. Linga means indication. Shadavidha means 6 types of indications. And when our brain is able to process, buddhi is able to process all these indications, we understand what is the tatparyam. Similarly, when we are able to look at various indications that are given by the Shruti, we understand it is finally that the Shruti wants to show that what Shruti wants to show is Akhanda Brahma. Akhande Brahmani Upakramadibhihi Lingaihi Vedantanam. Vedantanam means Upanishadam. All these Upanishads. Vedantanam avadhritam iti akhandam Brahma vakyartha. This Brahma is the vakyartha. Anabhyupagamasya purushadoshatvat. And if this is not accepted, anabhyupagamasya purushadoshatvat, is only because of the person's, his personal defect, some fault. No, it is not Brahman which is Akhandam, which is shown by the Upanishad, but Upanishad also wants to show some Paramatma, which is, one person who is standing up in the heaven. No, sir, no, nothing. This is your own Purusha dosha. This is your Purusha. This is the fault of the person. Okay. Kincha, furthermore, we are on page number 121 in the commentary section only. Kincha Tattvanusanthani vakya pratipadyatve samsargadehe pratyaksha virodha parihara asambhavena tasya tadayoga. So also, in understanding what is meant by the Mahavakyas, so Tattvanusanthani, Adi, by that Adi means there are other the Mahavakyas are several. Tattvamasi is one Mahavakya. What is called as a Mahavakya? The Vakyam which shows Brahman, the identity of Jiva as Brahman, oneness. That is called as Mahavakyam. So, Tattvamusanthani Vakya Pratipadyatve Samsargadehe Pratyaksha Virodha Parihara Asambhavena Tasya Tad Ayogat. एक minute. Now, how to say? Now, when Tatvamasi Mahavakya is directly saying Atma is Brahman, that you are. And when this is said, if you are going to insist on saying that, well, samsarga, vishishta, etc., are the only methods in which the Vakya functions, then there is going to be an immediate, direct, what do they call, virodha, contradiction. There is going to be a contradiction because samsarga, etc., is not functioning, but you are saying there is samsarga, there is vishishta, which is the method in which the Vakya functions. No. There is the pratyaksha virodha, and this virodha cannot be removed, and therefore insisting that samsarga and vishishta will become the methods is a defect. It cannot happen. But sir, how can you say that Atma is Brahman, this Jiva is Brahma? Because is it not directly and immediately known by you that you are not Brahman? What is your experience at this moment? Your experience is that I am an individual with limitations. Is not it? That my experience, my knowledge about myself is that I am an individual with limitations. Then how can you say that Atma is Ishvara, is Brahman, is that Vakyartha? No, this by itself is a contradiction. How are you going to resolve that? And is it not directly seen? Pratyakha naham Ishvaraha iti pratyakshadi virodhat. And when this is, forget about that samsarga and you saying that tatparya vishayatvam will help us understand akhanda Brahma. But how, sir, when there is this blatant contradiction sitting over there? Nachaham Ishvaraha iti. I am not Ishvara. I am not God. What are you? I am a small fry, just subjected to some joys and sorrows over here, and I have my set of problems. How can I be God? This is what is said by everyone. And when this is said, and this is seen by everyone, you need not teach anyone that you are not God. It is known. Do you require to be taught that you are not God? Even a child who comes, that infant, for him, only his ego exists. But when he starts growing up, he starts understanding, I am not the only person. I have a brother. And he also needs mother's and father's attention. He will also get the toys. He will also get the time. And so now his he understands that this ego, which I was considering, I am the only one who's existing, I am the God. Okay, no one else. Even that child also now starts understanding, I am not everything. I am not the most important. And so now, I am not God need not be told. It is just sitting in front of you, is not it? So you accept this as a fact, and this accepted fact is immediately known. So pratyakshadi virodhat. Now this virodha is there, and therefore katham akhandavastuno mahavakya pratipadyatvam. Therefore, how can your mahavakya show Atma is Brahman and that Brahman is Purnam, Akhandam? How can that be shown? Katham mahavakya pratipadyatvam akhandha virodhat, because this virodha is there and it will force you to accept Atma is not Brahman, and therefore even if you say Atma is Brahman, that would mean that whatever that Brahma is not Akhandam. You understand the Purva Paksha? Stronger the Purva Paksha, always remember, the Siddhanta will be firmer. Will become firm, will become strong. Pratyakshadi virodhat katham akhandavastuno mahavakya pratipadyatvam iti vachyam. Don't say this. That no which has gone in the beginning of the sentence, drag it over here. Iti navacham. So what does the teacher tell this opponent? Iti navacham. Don't say that. But why should I not say that? Why? Just because you are saying, does it mean that I should be swallowing all that you are saying? He says, no. Shruti virodhe, an important principle is being told to you, which we will elaborate elsewhere. Shruti virodhe pratyakshadinam abhasatvat. When the other pramanas stand contradicting the Shruti pramana, then the other pramana loses the status of being a pramanam. I will give you an example. क्या हो रहा है तुमको? क्या हो गया? तुम गए क्या कहीं? Shruti virodhe. Now understand this. How the balabala, when there are two pramanas reporting, so the knowledge is coming from two sources. Though knowledge is coming from two sources, the knowledge that is brought by both the sources is contradicting. Now, in this case, which of these knowledges should be considered as a fact and the other one as an error? You want an example? Take this up. Now, when our visual faculty reports to us that the earth is flat, there may be valleys and there may be mountains, but it is flat. Earth is flat. Who has reported this? Your own visual faculty. Chakshurindriya has reported. So it is in pratyaksha jnanam. What is your immediate and direct knowledge about this earth? That it is an extended flat land with some mountains or valleys and ditches here and there. Okay, but it is flat. Then comes your other pramanam called as the anumana pramanam, the inference. And this inference tells you that earth is round, not flat. Just imagine when you did not have the equipments, the satellite, what do they call it? Satellite images, etc., images of the earth taken from the space outside. Nothing was available. And yet, people like Galileo stood by saying that no matter, even if your eyes are reporting to you that the earth is flat, even if your book, the holy book, says the earth is flat, but now what to do? There is inference which compels me to say that earth is round. Now there are these two sources bringing you knowledge about the shape of the earth, and both of these are contradicting each other. When this is the case, which of these two knowledges should be considered as valid and the other one as invalid? Yeah. Which of these two should be considered to be valid and inevitably the other one is invalid? Then we are going to say whether it is a holy book or whether it is your own eyes. Yet we are going to say the earth is round, and that is the knowledge. It is not a belief. It is not a belief that the earth revolves around itself. And this is what causes day and night. It is not the sun going up and down which causes day and night. Sun is stationary. Sun does not move. But according to your eyes, the sun rises and sun sets. Then of these two knowledges, which knowledge will be considered to be valid? Which one would be considered to be invalid? And now, in deciding this, it is not some political party, you choose this party or that party. It is the bala of the pramanas. So like that, where you find that the inference, in spite of the contradiction presented by the pratyaksha pramana, inference wins hands down. Like that, similarly, over here we are going to say, even if there is any pramana which now stands contradicting Shruti, the Shruti is the Balavati, or Balavati will stand as the Balavana Pramana. Okay? Why, sir? Because when it comes to moksha, when it comes to the subject matter of what is Brahman, neither the inference nor the pratyaksha, nothing of this is ever able to show you what is Brahman. What is Brahman will always be shown to you by the Shruti Praman. Just as the colors and forms will be illumined to you only by your visual faculty and no other faculty. There is no other faculty. And so, here he says, where is it? Shruti virodhe pratyakshadinam abhasatvat. And when it comes, when there are other pramanas which stand contradicting the Shruti, then the other pramanas become only a pramana bhasa. Pramana bhasa means they only appear as pramanas, but they do not hold the status of being the pramanas. Tomorrow somebody comes and says, oh, well, I have seen Brahman with my own eyes. I have seen Brahman with my own eyes. Eyes can show what is Ruparanga. It can show you colors and forms. Which color and which form are you going to say is Brahman? Because your eyes can show you only that much. Which color and which form you are going to say is Paramatma? Nahi to. And therefore, Pratyakshadinam, and the Shruti comes and says that this is Arupa, Aranga, Arasa. This is how this Brahman is, not a subject matter of any of these Indriyas. Pratyakshadinam. So this person saying that, now what has happened to him? Say, I have seen Paramatma. All these things become what? Pramana bhasa. It is no longer a valid statement because it is coming from an invalid source of knowledge. It is coming, so that knowledge is invalid because it is coming from a defective source of knowledge. Invalid. Yogya anupalabdhehe asambhavena jivanishta ishvara bhedasya pratyaksha ayogyatvat manasaha anindriyatvena tathatvacha. Now, what is it that then is required? That the pramana is required for knowledge to take place. And the pramanam also should be defectless. Okay? So all the other pramanas, pratyaksha, etc., what happens to them? Yogya anupalabdhehe asambhavena. Now you are going to say, well, I am not Ishvara. I am not God. There is absence of Godhood in me. There is presence of Jivahood. So this anupalabdhi, the pramanam which is able to cognize the absence, is anupalabdhi pramanam. For example, the absence of pot is cognized. Okay? So what are you going to say? The pot is not there. The pot is absent. We are going to ask you a question. What has allowed you to understand the absence of pot? I'm seeing it with my own eyes. No, sir. With your own eyes, you are only seeing the bhutala, the floor, the ground. So your eyes can report to you by saying that there is bhutala, the ground, the floor is there. Your eyes can report what? There is this floor. Okay. But how can you say your eyes are reporting absence of pot? Eyes can only cognize colors and forms. Eyes in the sense the chakshurindriya. Your chakshurindriya can cognize only colors and forms. If you are going to say, I am seeing the absence of pot with my own eyes, our question is going to be, then please tell us, what color and form is the absence of pot? What color does this absence of pot carry? By the virtue of which you are saying, I'm seeing with my own eyes, the absence I'm seeing with my own eyes, cognizing with my own eyes. Now you tell us. Because your eyes can't report absence of pot, then absence of pot which is known by you. Otherwise, how somebody tells you, your teacher tells you, go bring the pot from inside, and you come and tell him there is no pot inside. There is absence of pot. Ghata bhavaha. How did you know there is absence of pot? How did you know? And therefore, now we have to make a space for this, to explain this experience, the experience of cognizing the absence. And so, what has allowed the cognition of the absence of anything, whether it is absence of a pot or a rose or a cat or a boy or a girl or a whatever, ghatapatadi, samasta, whatever there is, absence of that. Okay. Is cognized by yet another faculty of knowledge, another means of knowledge, and we call it as anupalabdhi pramanam. Okay, so just as you have pratyaksha pramana, you have yet another pramanam called as the anupalabdhi. Otherwise, you go to a theater and you go and occupy an empty chair. Why? Because you see that nobody is sitting over there. And if there was no faculty to cognize the absence, you would go in and sit on a chair which already somebody has occupied and sit in the lap of that person. So how? So absence is cognized. So question, therefore, now we are forced to accept that there is yet another faculty available with us which cognizes absence, and that is called as anupalabdhi praman. Now furthermore, come back to our subject matter, and he says that, well, absence of Ishwaratva, Brahmanhood. I am not Brahman. This is the absence. Not there. I am not Brahman. So is not it absence of Brahmanhood? Brahmatvasya abhavaha. Kutra vartate? Mai, in me. In the jiva. Where is it? In the jiva. Absence of Brahmanhood. This is cognized by anupalabdhi pramanam. He says, though anupalabdhi is a pramanam, yet the anupalabdhi pramanam is not the yogya pramanam over here. योग्यानुपलब्धेः असंभवेन असंभवेन जीवनिष्ठ ईश्वर भेदस्य प्रत्यक्ष अयोग्यत्वात्. So the first reason is योग्यानुपलब्धेः असंभवेन. One. Then you are going to say that, well, this absence of Ishwaratva. Where is the absence of Ishwaratva in Ishvara? No, in the Jiva. So the pot has potness. So where is the potness? In the pot. Where is the clothness? In the cloth. My question is, where is the absence of potness? Definitely not in the pot. Potness is absent in the cloth. Correct? So there is no potness in the cloth. And that's why this is not a pot, it is a cloth. घटत्वस्य अभावः कुत्र अस्ति? पटे वर्तते. In the pata. So we are going to say ghatatva abhavaha. Where is it seated? In the cloth. And the absence of clothness is seated in the pot. Correct? With these two objects, regarding these two objects, the pot and the cloth, ghata and pata. So ghata nishtha patatva bhavaha. Okay. Ghata nishtha patatva abhavaha. Okay. Pata nishtha ghatatva bhavaha. Two different. Got it? So that ghatatva bhava, where is it? In the cloth. Patatva bhava, where is it? Pata means a cloth. Hopefully you know this. Ghata means a pot. Where is the patatva bhava? In the ghata. So ghata nishtha patatva bhavaha. Patabheda. Got it? Now, similarly, Ishvara bheda, Ishvaratva bhava, where is it? In the Jiva. Correct? You are going to say Jiva is not Ishvara, as clearly as you are going to say the pot is not the cloth. Okay? So he says, Jivanishtha Ishvara bhedasya. So this absence, this absence of Ishvaratva in the Jiva, is it not directly known? I am Mr. Ramachandra, so I am not Krishna Chandra. I am Jiva, I am not Ishvara. Pratyaksha, directly known. So he says, such a thing, that claim that directly knowing that I am not Ishvara is pratyaksha ayogyatva. This absence cannot be cognized by your direct faculties, whether they are indriyas or just your mind. It is not directly perceived. Pratyaksha ayogyatva. This is the second reason. The third reason is manasaha anindriyatvena tathatvacha, that the mind cannot be called as an indriya. But I am knowing it. Maybe the eyes don't know. This is not a knowledge that Atma is not Brahman or Jiva is not Ishvara. This knowledge is not generated by eyes or ears. Then, sir, how is it generated? I know it. The mind knows it directly. So here we are going to say that this mind is not an indriya. It cannot be by itself a valid means of knowledge. Anumana, etc., inference is, anupalabdhi is, shabda is, all these are valid means of knowledge. But if you are going to say that mind is also a valid means of knowledge, we are going to say that the mind is not a pramanam. It is a general faculty, but not a specific faculty. And the knowledge is generated by the specific faculties only. And so, manasaha anindriyatvena. So he has given you ample reasons to say that the virodha which is seen is not valid. We will have how this virodha, this pratyaksha virodha, which is contradicting the Shruti, will become invalid. Okay, we have to go through this. This is just a small little trailer. It will be dealt with little. So this is, understand this. Just remember this. Why pratyakshadi namabhasatvat, etc. Why this Shruti virodha cannot be called as valid? Because there are these several reasons. Jivadikaran Ishvara bhedasya sakshibhasyataya pratitikatvena tad vishaya pratyakshasya shrutya bada sambhavat chandragata pradeshikatva pratyakshavat tadgata dvitvadi pratyakshatvacha. Now, he is going to say why that bheda, Jiva Ishvara bheda, the division is not valid. This knowledge of knowing, this knowledge that Jiva and Ishvara is different, Atma is not Brahman. Why is this whole thing invalid? He is going to tell us. But, let us see, examine this whole thing tomorrow when we meet again. The next sentence. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutrabhashyakridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you all. Thank you very much.